Hey, I don't know how to start this. I did not write a script for this shit. I did not write a script. Anyway, so since episode 2 of Indie Cross has been out for a while, I got me thinking, what is the timeline? So this is a fun little video I made of the timeline, and I hope you enjoy this little timeline video. It was made for fun, remember that. So where does the timeline begin, you may ask? Well, it starts off with the FNAF mod. Yes, I know, Morrow in episode 2, it says it's not connected, but this is my little timeline video, and yeah, you'll see why I included the FNF mod. Like, I know it's not canon, but this is my little headcanon, so yeah, let's just roll with it. Okay, so boyfriend encounters portals and they're sending him wish-washy, and he ends up in the Cuphead universe. And then Cuphead trying to find these portals, so he encounters boyfriend, and then they have a rap battle together. And Mugman appears, which we'll get to it later. Cuphead tells him to find Miss Chalice, which he does, and then they have a second rap battle, boyfriend and Cuphead. After their second rap battle, Cuphead gets angry, and so he decides to cheat by firing at boyfriend while rapping. Then he kills Mugman during the process, and so at this point, Cuphead has had enough of BF's BS. BS. Anyway, Cuphead almost kills boyfriend, but boyfriend escapes. We'll come back to Cuphead, just wait, just finish up boyfriend's story. So now, boyfriend is in the world of Undertale, and he meets Sans Undertale. They have their first rap battle, and after that, Frisk appears in their genocide run, and they can't get past because there's a barrier, and so Frisk cannot get in. So Sans and BF have their second rap battle in the barrier of some sort. And so after the second rap battle, Frisk, still trying to get in, gets in somehow, and Sans deals with them, killing them. And so they have their final rap battle, and BF is off. We'll get back to Sans, trust me on this. We're still going with BF's story. And so now we're in the world of Bendy the Ink Machine, where boyfriend rap battles a cardboard cutout of Bendy because he's an idiot. While rapping, boyfriend hits the cutout with his mic, which causes the ink demon to say, "Oh hell nah," and starts to appear and rap battle BF in the first song. And so after the first song, Sammy watches where the ink demon came from, sees him in grave pain, I think, tries to go, and is encountered with the same force field that Frisk was encountered. And so Bendy and BF have their second rap battle, which Bendy chooses because he can kill boyfriend whenever he wants to, but chooses to rap battle him. A man with honor, I see. Anyway, the third song, the Butcher Gang showed up, and after the third song, Bendy starts going crazy and kicks BF so hard that he starts running, and Bendy chases him, about to kill him. Get him. After a long period of running, boyfriend hides in a little miracle station. Bendy searches somewhere else. Boyfriend falls down, encounters Butcher Game, makes a lot of noise with his microphone. Bendy charges towards him, about to kill him, crushes his skull, and then throws him to a wall and starts beating the hell out of boyfriend, Smash Brothers style. He should die there, but no. Boyfriend survives somehow from a beating from, I don't know, a literal demon of ink, and just lives on to tell the tale. And now that the FNF mod is done, we can go back to Cuphead, and this is where the fun begins. Now back with Cuphead, going back to save Mugman, and fails. I don't know why Mugman still didn't came up after he died, but and so fails, and a portal over him fails above him, and so he unlocks his nightmare form and goes to the devil and starts beating the hell out of him, killing him. Maybe. We don't know. He might return. So he might return in the future in an episode of Indie Cross. We don't know yet. And so now we're with Sans. After went to Groomies, decided to talk to Tutorial, did not came. And then a portal appears, sending him to the ink world, Bendy. And they have a fight. And more portals take them to a Minecraft and a comic book dimension. And then to a final location. And Bendy wins. Yeah, it just kills him. He just kills Sans. Keep in mind that this Bendy and the Sans are still from the FNAF mod. It's my headcanon still, so we're continuing. Alright, so in Bendy vs. Sans Part 2, Sans unlocks his nightmare form, which causes him to be resurrected from the dead and starts beating Bendy in the fight. Even with these Bendy, nightmare mode Sans beats him, sending him into a puddle, not killing him though. Now in Part 3, Sans has the last reel, which Bendy knows it's his weakness, and so he tries to fight back but still loses. And so this tiny robot, which will be important, keep in mind, shoots at Sans, misses, and fires at Bendy, unlocking his nightmare form. Nightmare versus Nightmare Sans is a go. They fight in the sun, and even after all that, Sans is about to lose, but overheats Bendy, winning, sending him to a portal, not him by his own. Yeah, sends Bendy to a portal, throws the last reel in, and he sleeps in space, unknown of their fate. But during the fight, Nightmare Cuphead appears from a portal that he made, and gets slapped and leaves. Now that Bendy is sent to unknown and Sans is sleeping in space. Now let's go on to Nightmare Cuphead, because his story still continues on. Now continuing with Nightmare Cuphead, he ends up in the Madness Combat universe, opens a portal, and the author tries to oh hell nah, you doing some shit, I'm about to stop you, and then he dies. And I don't know much about the Madness Combat lore, but everything disappears in Tricky's hot dog, and so he tries to fight Nightmare Cuphead, and then almost dies, and Cuphead reverts back to normal, which I don't think he was in control of his nightmare form. I'll explain later, but gets to fight Tricky. And so Cuphead boss begins, and he's about to die, then Hank joins in, and they team up and defeat Tricky together, and they find another portal, and Hank encourages him to go through, and Cuphead goes in the portal, sending him to another world, and the world is Choo Choo Charles, and this will be important later, keep in mind. Cuphead gets hit by a train, and he encounters Choo Choo Charles. Boss battle begins. Halfway point, Hell Charles falls off a cliff, and he dies. And another portal appears, sending Cuphead somewhere else, which will be important later, keep in mind. Okay, so now here's where things get complicated. In another timeline of Undertale, another genocide run is happening. This is the Frisk. This Frisk is important. It's not the same one from the FNAF mod, it's different. Goes to the Judgment Hall, meets Sans. This is not the same Sans, mind you. The same Sans that we know a while back fighting Bendy is still sleeping in space. This one is different, and they beat the hell out of Frisk for a while, and it's sending them somewhere, which we're gonna get to next. Okay, so now that we're in episode 1 in Indie Cross, it starts off with Shovel Knight getting attacked by a robot, causing the earth to shake, almost dying, and Shield Knight sacrificing herself to save Shovel Knight, sending them to an unknown location for right now. And he meets the same exact robot we saw earlier in Sans vs. Bendy Part 3. Yeah, it's the same one. Might be different. Who knows? Shovel Knight is about to die, but before he dies, Cuphead appears to save him, and they beat the robot together. Not until a swarm of drones appear, and their leader appears for a moment, and they start to run for their life to survive. And Cuphead falls off the cliff, and Shovel Knight follows suit. And the leader explains that they need to find the rogues which will be important in episode 2. Keep in mind, we're still in episode 1. A little detour in Hollow Knight's universe, and Frisk is there here, implying that this is the same Frisk that fought Nightmare Sands and got transported away. And so the Hollow Knight, I don't know, I never played Hollow Knight, fights this thing, I don't know, I'm sorry, I don't know the lore. And so Frisk kills the thing, I don't know, and then kills the knight, and then comes back. Frisk goes through another portal, and the knight's spirit, I guess, I don't know the lore, and goes to the portal as well, and the knight follows suits as well. Back with Cuphead and Shovel Knight. They argue a bit, and they fight. Shovel Knight wins, heals up Cuphead, and they quickly become friends, knowing well about family, and Cuphead making jokes of Muggsy. Now we're with Madeline, who got here somehow by a portal, and they encounter Frisk. Runs away because Frisk has a goddamn knife. Madeline shows up. I've never played Celeste. I don't know the lore. I would like to play it, but anyways. Madeline shoots a laser. Oh, not showing killing Frisk. Yeah. They encounter Hollow Knight's spirit, and Hollow Knight appears. Now back with the drones and the leader. They encountered Frisk, and Frisk engages in combat because it's the genocide risk. I said they're in the genocide route. I said risk, whatever. And they charge, and the giant leader robot kills them, presumably, and they lose all their energy, and they encounter Madeline and the knight. And Frisk is alive, and they send Frisk to an unknown location, and they begin to shut down, and the knight protects them from Cuphead's blast. Before getting into episode 2, I would like to talk about some non-canon stuff that are not canon, as well the inconsistencies with the FNAF mod Indie Cross. So what I mean by the FNAF Indie Cross being canon, I'm only talking about version 1 of Indie Cross, not version 2. It's coming soon by the indie team that Morrow's not a part of anymore. Only version 1 is canon. That's what I'm talking about. Only version 1, okay? Okay, now to the non-canon stuff. Cuphead vs. Def is not canon for reasons, obviously, because Def is not an indie character. Murder Drones vs. Hell of a Boss is not canon. Neither is Bowser vs. Eggman. Now you might be wondering, why am I talking about Bowser vs. Eggman even though it's not part of Indie Cross? Well, little known fact, Morrow hidden one of his drones right here in the background, and I thought it would be fun to talk about it because I thought it was a nice detail, and also I just want to talk about my favorite death battle. Yeah, alright. Now moving on to episode 2 of Indie Cross, and spoiler warning if you haven't seen it yet, go watch it, it's good. Alright, so Nico is at the end of their journey. I don't know, I've never played One Shot, and they have to decide whether to break the light bulb or put it into place to save the world. Then Nico gets teleported to an unknown location for right now, gets attacked, is saved by Drifter, and is left indoors. Then we cut back to Cuphead, Shovel Knight, Madeline, and the Knight. Shovel Knight and Cuphead want to destroy the robot, while Madeline wants to know if it'll help them get back home. Chase happens, the robot is activated through the conflict, and they go up a hill, and Shovel Knight's shovel gets cut in half by the Knight. And the machine tells them they have to work together in order to get back home. They question how they get back home, and Cuphead has PTSD from what happening. And I'm gonna let the clip play for itself.
Get out of my house! Hello! Machine, I will wait, who the f*** are you?
Cuphead?
Get back here, you impudent fool!
Told you Choo Choo Charles was gonna be important. Anyways, he also goes to Terraria, Hello Neighbor, Henry Stickman, and Ultra Kill. And I have never played any of these games. I don't know what to tell you. Moving on, the tiny robot explains that the portals are caused by an event that happened years, I guess, and the portals appear. And said portals can give users power if they get failed, and they give them powers that are respected to their world. I meant world. And it can, and fall in the wrong hands, disastrous consequences that will lead to destruction of reality itself, which cannot be fixed. She also explains what the rogues are, which are
evil robots that want to take over the world because they're evil. But yeah, we'll run into them eventually.
And they get attacked by one. This one's named Unithor. And Cuphead dies, and they have to save Cuphead by slapping him of the heart. At which they do, and they escape to a portal. Another rogue shows up, which Unithor summoned, and it does not have a name, so I'm gonna name it Unreal Dragoon. You can obviously tell what I am referencing, are you? And so they destroy the planet, and so we move on to where our heroes end up next. But meanwhile, in the realm they're going to come across, Drifter is fighting a robot, which this realm appears to be the world where the rogues originated, because a bunch of people have the same drone head. And Drifter gets a vision of the future where he's fighting someone, probably leader of the rogues. Editor me here. This is not the leader of the rogues. When I originally uploaded this video, the original, my friend Binary on Discord DM'd me telling me he is not the leader of the rogues. He is actually named Judgment, the final boss where Drifter is from. And he knows this because he did not play the game. He knows it because Moro added subtitles. This is what happens when someone doesn't write a script for this kind of video. This is what happens when someone doesn't write a script. I am just a fucking idiot right now. Anyway, go sub to Binary because he helped me clear up the name of Judgment, and just go sub to him. He's a pretty cool guy. Link in the description along with everything else. And he dies, but it's a vision of the future, and he's waking up by literally the best character in this animation, beheaded. He's just the best character. And so they find the portal, and Game Master, another rogue, appears, and they have to fight it. Quick detour, we're taking where Frisk ended up, and they ended up in the FNAF world, and we're just gonna talk about Frisk side plot for this entire section. So yeah, Frisk meets up with Springtrap and punches him through a wall. Sounds familiar, am I right? After some time, Frisk beating the hell out of Springtrap, a portal appears. Frisk goes into the portal to get out of the FNAF road, but then the portal malfunctions and gives Springtrap a nightmare form, which I would like to briefly talk about the nightmare forms a bit. So like, Nightmare Cuphead is not in control of his nightmare form, and Sans and Bendy are in control, and Springtrap in this episode is also in control. So like, I feel like the nightmare forms are unique, because like, I know it's outdated, the old ones are outdated, but like Headcanon and all, yeah, Headcanon, and if you really think about it, if you have a high IQ or just enormous power, you can pretty much control the nightmare form. I don't know if that's the case, but this is my headcanon for right now until more Indie Cross episode comes out. So yeah, take that as you will. And so now Springtrap has the ultimate power in his world. He breaks Frisk's chain and summons every single animatronic to kill Frisk, and they all give chase to Frisk, and conveniently shaped lamp saves Frisk, and the puppet watches Frisk and leaves, not doing a thing to him. Yeah, quick cut back to our main heroes, and they made it to the world where Drifter and Beheaded were fighting the Game Master, their home world, the rogue's home world. And yeah, and the goose is here for some reason, and they all lay down in the Grobies meeting Nico. Yeah, Nico, yay! Still never played one take. And so they talk about he was saved by Drifter, and yeah, I wouldn't say much, but all they do is Shovel Knight mourns the loss of Shield Knight, and they all play games, and Nico is tasked to fix Shovel Knight's shovel, yeah, until then we still go and we still have Frisk's subplot to continue on. And you might be thinking, what about Drifter and Beheaded? All I do is cool fights, anime stuff with Game Master. Highly recommend. Just go watch the original show. Just go watch the original episode to get more context than just me talking about it. But right now, let's just go back to Frisk and their subplot. Now with Frisk, they saved and they meet Glamrock Freddy, and every single animatronic goes back to check back to see if Frisk escaped, and Frisk hides in Glamrock Freddy's stomach. Glamrock was looking for Gregory and finds Frisk, and so they escape through an elevator, and Glamrock Freddy promised to protect Frisk until they enter a room with a laser gate. Glamrock Freddy tells Frisk to vent to deactivate the lasers, which they do, and they enter a room. Freddy needs to recharge. Frisk finds Princess Quest 3, so they play it, and then Helpy falls from the ground and screams, and Vanny appears and tries to kill Frisk, and every single animatronic comes in to beat Frisk up and jump. Not really. So let's take a quick detour back to our main cast because I forgot to mention something. The robot tells us her name. Her name is Charlotte, and they tell us how to defeat the rogues, which all they need to do is overload their systems so they can crack and they have their chance. Now that that's done, let's go back to Frisk. Frisk fights every animatronic, kills Vanny, gets saved by Glamrock Freddy, then gets crushed in Glamrock Freddy's chest, and they're about to reset, and Nightmare Springtrap appears, telling them they're still a monster at the end of the day. So they fight, and Springtrap is overpowering Frisk, and even so, they can't deal damage to them. And so Springtrap sends Frisk to Princess Quest, and that's where a puppet gives them a fixed chain and a Princess Quest sword, and so Frisk starts to overheat William Afton, aka Springtrap, and he loses nightmare form and gets bodied by Frisk and Glamrock Freddy. Now back with Drifter and Beheaded. They wombo combo Game Master, killing him. Beheaded pulls up the middle finger, and then he gets turned to stone by another rogue. And Drifter barely escapes, and with that, the little blue robot revives Game Master, and Game Master's off. And he finds rubies where the heroes are hiding, and then the tiny drones kill him. Not really, take off his skin and give him a nightmare form. And the rogues can have nightmare forms, which is crazy to think about. And epic fight scene starts. I'm not playing it, you need to watch it yourself, but all you need to know is the heroes win, and Charlotte takes the power and opens a portal to Shovel Knight's dimension, which is currently destroyed, and then Unithor comes down and breaks the portal apparently, and just Unreal Dragoon goes up, and everything just went to chaos. Shovel Knight gets pushed to another realm by Unreal Dragoon. Cuphead takes Nico and a lamp by accident and gets knocked over. Drifter saves Celeste, and just about it. The Hollow Knight sacrifices himself before they both turn to gold. That is the end, and the rogues have won, and they're destroying the planet and stuff. Another portal opens up in the FNAF world, and Frisk goes through it and turns back. And Glamrock says goodbye, superstar. And Frisk looks like having a redemption arc. Oh yeah, post-credit scene. V1 is here. Yeah. And yet again, I don't know the hype because I never played Ultra Kill. Someone please just gift me some of these games, please. And yeah, that is the end of the video. That is my headcanon on the Indie Cross timeline. I hope you enjoy, and let me know what you think of this timeline video and my headcanon of it, and let me know what your headcanon is of the timeline is. And yeah, that's all for now. See ya.